Hey folks, what's going on? Today we're going to be taking a look at a little card game called Byzanz. In this one you are merchants, trading, bartering, trying to acquire the best goods, sell those goods, and have the most points at the end of the game. The game has some interesting bidding, some interesting drafting. Let me show you how it works and then I'll tell you what I think of it. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to get a hand of 4 cards. That looks like that. And they are going to shuffle up the pile here, and then we're going to set up those cards in the center there, depending on the number of players. I have set up a game here for 4 players, which means that these are 5, 4, 3, 2. But depending on the number of players, as I said, there could be a 6, there might be a 1, some numbers might be missing. So I'm just going to show you this. Basically, each round of the game, we're going to flip over as many cards as the number there from the deck of cards. So in this case, we'll flip that. That's a 1 with a grape. That is a 2 with a black olive there. That's a 1 with some spices. That one. And this character here is a wild card, a merchant, normally worth 0 points if you attempt to score it or use it in a bid, which I'll show you in a second. But there's a special situation where it might be worth 5. So I'll put that there. Now, starting from the start player, we are going to bid to win this slot. Each player will be able to use their hands to bid, and the bid strength is the number. So I could say 3. And I don't have to put anything on top of, face up on the table, but I'll be spending one of these 2. So I'll say 3. Let's say next player here takes a look. They say, yeah, I'll do 5. And let's assume everybody else passes, okay? Now this player has to pay 5, so they are going to pay, let's say, this card and this card. They're going to keep these 2. I'll put them face up for the example for now. Both of these cards are going to end up face up over here in this market, and they are going to take all of these cards, the winning player, and they are going to get rid of one that also goes to that market, and they will keep the others. And so let's say they get rid of this red 1. Every card out here would be organized by color, by the way, and everything else goes to their hand. And so this is their new hand with all of this stuff. Alright. Normally in the game you don't have to sell, though you can anytime you want to, but if you go above 7 then you have to do it. And let's say this player normally wouldn't have to sell, as I'm saying, but let's say they did want to sell. The way that works is very simple. You are going to sell a lot of 3 cards that are all the same color. And you're going to only score the best card. So if this player wanted to sell right now, they would take all 3 of these cards. They would take this one and keep it face down in their score pile. And they would discard these 2. However, one more thing they could do is they could score this 4, this 1, and this one, which is a wild card. Still keep the 4, but then they can hang on to that 3 for bidding or for possibly making another set in the future. Alright? So, let's say they do this. They're going to score their 4, these 2 are gone, and they're going to take this top card here and put it in front of themselves. Both to remind everyone that they've already gone, and for the second part of each round. So, we go again, now we flip over 4 cards. Someone else is going to win this one because the player who already won cannot win again. And so let's assume again they all bid. Let's say this guy wins, and let's say he wins it with 2. Okay? He gets rid of the 2. It goes in here in the market. He's going to take all this stuff except for 1 card. Again, you always have to get rid of 1. And let's say they get rid of that one, and it goes together with the 2 over there. And they take this card, put it in front of themselves. Next up, we flip over 3. And so as you can see, the lots get smaller and smaller. Let's say this player is going to win that. I'm not doing all the bidding, but, well, let's say that's what happens. And then they would take, let's say they wanted with a 3. They get rid of that. They take all these, except 1. You have to get rid of one of these. Let's get rid of that one. That's what they're holding. And they would take this. And then the 2 here is a single player who's left to win. So basically they don't bid anything. We flip over 2 cards. They'll give up 1. And then they take the other. And we'll put it in their hand for now. And then they take this too. Now, the second part of every round goes like this. All these players are going to go to the market, and the way they're going to go is in number order, from the smallest number up to the highest number. And so this player that just won the last bid there for a single card, basically, it was free, but it was a single card, they're going to put their 2 back, and they'll get any one lot they want. They get everything of one color. So let's take a look here, see if there's anything besides that blue that would be good. No, they'll just take the blue. And so they take this. They have now too many cards, so they are going to score one of these. The other 2 discarded. And now we go to the player who has the 3 here. Let's take a look at what they've got. They are going to take, that's 5 cards. They're going to take these brown cards here, the wood. And come on, all right. So they have 7 right now. They don't have to score anything, and they're going to hold on to these for bidding purposes. Hopefully, maybe they get another brown. Now this person would go, and they could take, that yellow looks pretty good. So they're going to take the yellow card here. And again, they have 7 right now. They wouldn't have to sell anything until the moment they have to. As soon as they go over 7, then they could just cash in then. But for the sake of the example here, let's say they sell this. Has to be 3 of the same color. They're going to keep the best one. Boom. These are out. And then the last player, again, this would end up here. This would end up here. Now the last player gets one of these 2. And this is their hand. They're going to take that green. Well, it's a 3. It's better. This is discarded. If anything wasn't taken, it's just gone from the market. And we play another round. The game is going to be over when we run out the deck of cards, which is pretty quick. And then everyone's going to see the cards they've scored from, again, making those sets of 3. Whoever has the best score at the end of the game from these cards is the winner. One more thing I want to explain. These merchants, if you are, like I said, they're normally 0s, but if you are able to score 3 of them, then you would keep 1, and that counts as 5 in your score pile, not 0. So, very flexible, but if you can get all 3 and hang on to them instead of scoring them for another color as a wild, you'll get 5 out of these. And that's basically it. That's how you play the game. The game says 45 minutes on the back, which I guess would put it outside the realm of a filler game. But to me, I consider this a filler. For one, I typically play faster than that. I also typically don't play with 6. But I think for the lower number of players especially, the game is just smooth, it's quick, it has lots going on, some fun bidding, some fun drafting in there, right? I think the look of it is excellent. I love the artwork. Everything's really clear. The rules might seem a little counterintuitive at first, but everybody gets into them quickly and understands them. And the choices from turn to turn are interesting. Sometimes you do want that big lot at the beginning of the round, but you know you're going to be drafting from that open market last at the end of that round. Sometimes you really don't want to give up what you have in your hand. Sometimes you can give something up and then draft it back. It's got a lot of interesting sort of mechanisms that just work well together and give me a great feel for as a filler game. I think it's just an excellent little game. I've had it for a long time. I intend to keep it for a long time. Byzanz here is an excellent card game, and one I would recommend to just about everybody. Unless you don't like card games, then I recommend you check this one out. Byzanz, really good stuff.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.